That night, the entire arena held its breath. The undefeated champion, known for his arrogance and faster-than-fist mouth, stared at Mike Tyson in silence. He screamed, pointed his finger, teased, humiliated. And Mike, he didn't say a word. I just watched as if I had seen it all my life. Before the fight even begins, the champion advances to the center of the octagon. Broad gestures, loud voice. He demands that Tyson prove that he is still old enough to be there. The words echo through the loudspeakers. The crowd reacts, part laughs, part boos. The champion smiles. He believes he has already won. Mike remains still, hands loose at his sides, staring but without anger, only present, like someone who waits, as someone who already knows. The champion screams again, higher. He points to Tyson's chest. "You're past the old man. I am the present." The phrase comes out with so much pride that even the commentators exchange uncomfortable looks. And then the first change happens. The audience starts booing. Not Mike, the champion. The booing grows. It becomes a roar of disapproval. The champion hesitates. For a second, the smile falters. He expected applause. He received rejection. Tyson takes a deep breath. That's all. A long, controlled breath. He adjusts the gloves slowly, without rushing, without looking at the rival. The gesture is small, but it carries immense weight. The calm of someone who has fought demons greater than any provocation. The champion tries to regain control. He takes a step forward, chest puffed out, but the booing doesn't stop, and something inside him starts to crack. Certainty, trust, the dominance of the arena that he thought he had. Mike didn't have to say a word. His silence was louder than any scream. The referee stands between the two. He makes a firm gesture, retreat. The champion obeys, but the gaze does not leave Tyson. It seeks something, fear, anger, reaction, anything. He finds nothing, just a man standing still, breathing, waiting. And suddenly, the entire arena understands something that the champion has not yet noticed. It is not always the one who speaks the most who is in control. The whistle has not yet sounded, but the champion can't stand the silence anymore. He advances, fast, aggressive, pushes Mike in the chest with both hands, strong. The impact resonates through the microphone attached to the octagon grill. The arena erupts in boos. Mike takes a step back. It does not stumble. It does not react. Only retreats. But it's not fear. It is measure. It's calculation. He notes the distance between the two. Observe the weight of the push. He observes his rival's accelerated breathing. The champion screams again. "Come on, old man. Show that you still know how to fight." Tyson keeps his gaze down. Not by submission, by focus. He is reading the body of the adversary as if reading a book already known. Every gesture, every strain on the shoulders, every miscalculated step. The referee intervenes. Cut the space between the two with his arm outstretched. "One more move like this and you lose points before you start." The voice is firm, official. The champion retreats, but the smile is still there, forced, arrogant, fragile. Mike adjusts the mouthguard. Slowly, no rush, like someone who sets the table before dinner. And then the second change happens. The champion realizes that no one is on his side. Neither did the fans, neither do the commentators, nor the silence of the arena that used to vibrate with his name. All that remains is the echo of one's own voice, empty, desperate, small. He tries to laugh, try to appear confident, but the laughter comes out crooked. Tyson looks up, just for a second, and in that second, the champion sees something he didn't expect. Patience. I don't despise it. Not anger. Just patience. The kind of patience of someone who has won fights before the bell even rings. The referee raises his hand. The fight is about to begin. The champion shakes his arms, tries to release the tension. But she doesn't leave. It's stuck to the muscles, in the hands that tremble slightly, in breathing that accelerates without control. Mike remains motionless, and somehow, this is more threatening than any provocation. Silence can be the sharpest weapon. The whistle sounds. The fight begins. The whistle still echoes when the champion explodes. He goes all out. Wide arms, broad movements, pure fury. He wants to solve it there. He wants to silence the booing. He wants to prove that the old man in front of him is nothing more than a shadow of what he once was. Mike doesn't back down this time. It stays planted, firm feet, guard up, just observing. The champion throws the first blow, a side hook that cuts through the air with force. Fast, potent, but empty. Mike rotates the torso. Minimum, fair enough. The punch grazes by. It hits nothing but the wind. The champion tries again. Another blow. Another mistake. He is too fast. Every move carries anxiety. Each punch carries the need to prove something. And therein lies the problem. Tyson notices. He sees the irregular breathing. He sees the tense shoulders. He sees the balance oscillating with each frustrated attack. The rival is not fighting against him. He is fighting against his own insecurity. The champion advances once again, this time with a front right. Heavy. Committed. He bets everything on that coup. And he makes mistakes. The momentum takes you past the mark. It loses its axis. For a second, just a second, his body opens up completely. No guard, no control, almost stumbling forward. The arena holds your breath. Mike could have attacked. It could have ended there, but it does not attack. Just rotate the torso back to the starting position. Effortlessly, no rush. Like someone who dances to the sound of a song that only he can hear. The champion recomposes himself. He tries to disguise his mistake with a quick smile, shake his head, slam the gloves together, but confidence does not return. She escaped along with her balance. Tyson takes a sidestep, small, deliberate. Reposition the body without taking your eyes off the opponent. And then something subtle but devastating happens. The audience begins to murmur. It's not a crowd. It's not vibration. Is worry. Concern for the champion. As if they already knew something was wrong. The champion listens, and for the first time since he entered the octagon, he feels afraid. Haste denounces weaknesses. The champion retreats 2 steps, lets your guard down for a second, and he laughs, high, forced, as if the previous mistake had never happened. He points to Mike. He makes a mocking gesture with his hand. Is that it? Is that all you have, old man? The voice comes out loud, but it carries something that wasn't there before. Urgency. The audience doesn't laugh with him. Some boo. Others just watch in silence. The kind of silence that weighs heavily. The champion continues. He beats his own chest. I am the future. You're in the past. Each word screams louder than the last. He believes, or is trying to believe, that the fight is already won. That the veteran in front of him is nothing more than a name worn out by time. Mike remains still. It does not answer. It does not react. Only wait, and then the change happens. Tyson looks up. It is not a sudden movement. It's not dramatic. It's just one look. But it's the kind of look that carries decades. Wins, defeats, pain, discipline, truth. The champion feels it. Something in his chest tightens. The smile falters. For a fraction of a second, he understands that he is facing something bigger than he imagined. He is not just an old man. It's a mountain of experience, an ocean of battles, a mirror that reflects everything he is not yet. The arena changes its tone. The boos grow. But this time, it's not boos of disapproval. It's boos of demand. Respect, respect, respect. The chorus starts slowly and then explodes. The champion looks around, confused, angry. He expected applause. He expected adoration. He received a charge. Tyson takes a single step forward, only one. But the weight of that step runs through the entire octagon. The champion instinctively retreats, not because he was pushed, but because something inside him recognized the difference between noise and presence. Mike doesn't need to scream. You don't need to gesticulate. You don't need to prove anything. He just exists. And that's enough. The champion tries to regain his posture. He raises his fists, forces a smile. But the shoulders betray. They are tense, rigid, loaded with a doubt that he can no longer hide. The camera captures his face, sweat dripping, slightly wide eyes, breathing through the mouth, and the audience sees it. Everyone sees it. Respect is not asked. It imposes itself. Mike moves. It's not an explosion. It's not fury. It's precision. A short step, hips spinning, shoulder compacting. And then, the coup. Short, dry, straight into the champion's stomach. The sound of the impact cuts through the noise of the arena. A muffled thud. Profound. The kind of sound that makes the whole body understand that something has changed. The champion freezes for half a second. Their eyes widen. The mouth opens, seeking air that does not come. He stumbles backwards. 2, 3 unbalanced strides. Arms fall off. The guard crumbles. Mike returns to the starting position, as if nothing had happened. Planted feet, hands raised, controlled breathing. No celebration, without provocation, only presence. The champion tries to pull himself together, raise your guard again, but his arms tremble. He takes a deep breath, trying to regain his rhythm. But the body still feels the echo of that single blow. And here comes the devastating realization. Tyson was holding back. The blow was not the strongest he had. It was just the first. A warning. One measure. A demonstration that everything that has happened so far has been tolerance, not weakness. The champion looks at Mike. Look for signs of tiredness, of effort. Anything that indicates vulnerability. He finds nothing. Mike breathes slowly. Eyes fixed. Relaxed posture, but ready. He identified something. Something in the way the champion protects the left side. Something in the way the elbows move away from the body as it moves forward. A weakness. Small, almost imperceptible. But for someone with decades in the ring, it's an open gate. The champion shakes his head, try to shake off the feeling. He tries to return to the arrogance of minutes ago, but it is no longer there. He left along with the air that came out of his lungs. He moves forward again, this time more cautious, less confident. The punches come, but without conviction, without the certainty of before. Mike doesn't attack, it just moves. Minor adjustments, minimal revs. He is letting his rival wear out, letting the strain erode the resistance, letting fear do the silent work. The arena erupts in murmurs. Commentators exchange quick sentences. Did you see the difference in control? That blow was calculated to the millimeter. The champion listens, and for the first time, he understands. True strength does not need to be announced. Wounded pride is dangerous, and the champion is bleeding inside. He advances, not with strategy, with desperation. The blows come uncontrolled, wide, heavy, loaded with anger. He wants to destroy. He wants to erase the humiliation. He wants to prove that he is still who he said he is. Mike retreats, step by step. He doesn't run away. He manages. Let the rival burn energy. Let the fury turn to exhaustion. The champion screams while attacking. Each punch is accompanied by a roar, as if sound could make up for the lack of precision. Tyson observes. He's seen it before, dozens of times, hundreds. The pattern is always the same. When the ego cracks, the body compensates with volume. More blows, more noise, more movement, but less efficiency. The champion attempts a high hook, misses. Try an uppercut, misses. He goes for a spinning scam, spectacular, risky, desperate, and it exposes everything. His body rotates, the arms move apart, the left flank is completely open. For a full second, an eternity in the time of a fight, he is vulnerable. Mike sees, but it does not attack. He just makes a small movement with his head. Subtle, almost imperceptible. The kind of gesture that says, I saw it, and you know I saw it. The champion completes the spin. Stumbles slightly when regaining balance. Explosive breathing, sweat dripping. He knows he made a mistake. He knows that he has delivered the defense. And he knows that Tyson chose not to finish. This hurts more than any scam. He tries again. Another advance. Another disorganized sequence. But now something has changed inside him. It's no longer pure anger. It's fear disguised as aggression. Mike acknowledges. He recognizes the exact moment when the opponent stops fighting to win and starts fighting not to lose. The champion's moves begin to repeat. Same angle, same distance, same mistake. He's on autopilot. The body got tired of thinking. It's just reacting. Tyson takes a sidestep, repositions, calm, methodical. He's not fighting a man. He's waiting for the right moment. The entire arena feels the change. The screams subside. People lean forward. Everyone knows that something is about to happen. The champion feels it too. You see it in Mike's eyes. You can see it in the posture. He sees in the silence that weighs more than any words. He tried to win with noise. But experience always recognizes repetition. And now, the ring belongs to those who know how to wait. Mike moves. This time, it's not waiting. It is execution. He takes 2 short steps. Close the distance. The champion tries to retreat, but it's too late. Tyson launches a sequence. 3 strikes. Fast, accurate, calculated. The first one hits the ribs. The second cuts the air and hits the chin with a graze. The third, a short hook, finds exactly the point where the champion's guard always fails. The impact resonates. The champion staggers. The knees give way for a moment. He does not fall, but the body betrays him. Arms fall off. The head shakes. The gaze loses focus. Mike retreats. 1 step, 2. He returns to position. No rush, no celebration. The arena explodes. The sound is deafening. Screams, applause, ovation. People stand up, not by violence, by justice, for the moral inversion that everyone knew would come. The champion tries to pull himself together, shake his head, try to clear your vision. But when his eyes finally focus on Tyson again, he sees something that freezes the blood in his veins. Fear. Not Mike's fear, the fear itself reflected in the opponent's gaze. Tyson is stopped, guard down, almost inviting the rival to try again. But it is not provocation, it's a test. He's measuring, evaluating, deciding if the champion has learned something or if he still needs more. The champion takes a deep breath. Try to move forward. Raise your fists. But the arms weigh heavily. The feet do not obey as quickly. And something inside him, something primitive, instinctive, screams to stop. He ignores it. It advances anyway. One last effort, a last attempt to regain the control he never really had. Mike waits. The coup comes. Slow, predictable, desperate. Tyson deflects. Minimum. The punch passes so close that the wind brushes his ear. And then, with a speed that contradicts the years, he strikes back. A single blow. Direct, clean, undeniable. The champion stops. It doesn't fall, but stop. Their eyes widen. The mouth opens. The whole body freezes, processing what has just happened. The arena screams. But he doesn't listen anymore. He only hears his own heart beating in his ears. He only feels the tremor in his knees. He only understands, finally, that he was fighting against something much bigger than he imagined. Mike lets his guard down, completely. And that's more humiliating than any knockout, because it means one thing. Nothing scares an arrogant person more than realizing that they have lost control. The champion tries one more time, but it is no longer a fight. It is insistence. It is wounded pride refusing to accept the inevitable. He advances, real, irregular guard. Explosive breathing. He throws one last blow, desperate, clumsy, empty. Mike doesn't dodge this time. He enters, a firm step, hips spinning, arm compacting, and then the coup. Fast, technician, undeniable. The punch cuts through the air and finds the champion's chin with surgical precision. It's not the strongest blow Tyson has ever delivered, but it is the right blow. At the right time, at the right angle. The sound echoes, and the whole arena is silent. The champion stops in the air for a fraction of a second, as if time hesitates, and then the knees give way. Not all at once, but slowly. like a tower that finally accepts the weight of its own structure. He falls, not from the back. On his knees, hands touch the canvas, the head down. The breath comes out in short, confused bursts. He's not knocked out. He's too awake, too conscious, feeling every second of the fall. Mike retreats, one step, then another. It does not vibrate. He does not raise his arms. He doesn't scream. Just observe. And within that gaze is something rare. Something that separates fighters from masters. Control. He could have continued. It could have ended with another blow. I could have let anger or ego guide the moment. But he did nothing of the sort. He knew when to stop. The referee approaches. Check the status of the champion. Look at Tyson. Raise your hand. The fight is over. The arena explodes, but it is not euphoria. It's respect. The kind of applause that comes from the chest, not the hands. The kind of recognition that crosses generations. The champion is still on his knees, trying to understand, trying to sue. He entered believing he was invincible, and now it is on the ground, in front of millions, learning the hardest lesson the ego can receive. Arrogance does not win experience. Noise does not overcome silence. Provocation does not win presence. Mike walks away. No rush, no celebration. He fulfilled what he came to do, not to destroy, but to teach. Knowing when to stop is also strength. And you? Would it have stopped or continued? Comment there. The entire arena is standing. Thousands of people applauding, screaming. Not for the spectacle, for the lesson, for the moral inversion that everyone witnessed. The same crowd that booed the champion minutes ago now celebrates Mike Tyson. Not for the victory, for the way he won, for dignity, for control, for the way he transformed humiliation into teaching. The champion is still on his knees, hands resting on the canvas, head down, dripping sweat. He hears the applause, but it's not for him. And this realization hurts more than the blow that brought him down. He took a deep breath. Once, two, trying to find strength not in the body, but in what is left of pride. And then slowly, it begins to get up. Legs tremble. The arms can barely support their own weight. But he gets up, because to stay on the ground would be to accept that the fall was complete, and something inside him, small, fragile, but still alive, refuses to give up. He stands. Real. Look around. He sees the cameras. He sees the faces in the crowd. He sees the commentators nodding their heads with respect. But not for him. And then her eyes meet Mike. Tyson is stopped. A few meters away. Without celebrating. Without provoking. Only present. As it always has been. The champion hesitates. For the first time in the night, he doesn't know what to do. Pride says to turn your back. Conscience says something else. He takes a step forward, then another, and he extends his hand. The arena holds your breath. Mike looks at his outstretched hand, then to the champion's face, and he sees something different there. No more arrogance, no more contempt. Only recognition. The kind of recognition that only comes after the fall. Tyson extends his own hand. The grip is firm, fast, speechless. But it carries an immense weight. It is the end of a cycle, the closing of a lesson that began with shouts and ended in silence. The champion lowers his head, not in defeat, in humility. For the first time, true, the arena explodes again. But now the applause is different. They are recognition for the courage to admit, by the strength of reaching out, for the humility that is only born when the ego finally falls silent. Mike lets go of his hand. He gives a small nod. Nothing grandiose, just a gesture. And he moves away. The fight is over, but the lesson continues. Humility is sometimes born from the right impact. Mike Tyson leaves the octagon to applause. It doesn't run. He does not raise his arms in victory. It doesn't celebrate. It just walks. Firm steps. Upright posture. As someone who fulfilled what he came to do and now moves on. The crowd follows him with their eyes. Some clap their hands. Others just watch in silence. The kind of silence that carries awe, respect, recognition of something greater than a simple victory. It goes through the railing. He goes down the steps, and it disappears into the corridors. No interview, no speech, no need to explain the obvious. Inside the octagon, the champion is still there, sitting in the corner, hands on knees, head down, not because of physical exhaustion, but because of internal weight. The kind of heaviness that comes when consciousness finally catches up with the ego. He takes a deep breath. Look at your own hands. Hands that provoked, hands that pushed, hands that failed. And for the first time, he understands. Provocation does not win character. Noise is no substitute for skill. Arrogance does not build legacy. The commentators, from up there, analyze the fight. But they don't just talk about technique. They talk about posture, of control, of how Mike Tyson taught without words, of how his silence was the most powerful weapon of the night. He could have destroyed it, says one, but he chose to teach. That's what separates a fighter from a legend, adds another. The champion raises his head. Look around. The arena is almost empty now. Cameras turning off, lights dimming. The show is over. But inside him, something changed. It is not complete redemption. It is not instant transformation. But it's the beginning. The first step of a journey he didn't even know he needed to take. He stands up. Slowly, he leaves the octagon, and as he passes through the door, he looks back one last time. The place where it all happened. The place where the ego cracked. The place where the lesson entered, not through the ears, but through the body. For the impact, for the fall, for the silence that came after. Outside, somewhere, Mike Tyson is already home, or maybe in a training session, or just resting. It does not need validation. It doesn't need renewed fame. You don't need to prove anything else, because true strength rarely screams. And the most respected victory is the one won without hatred. Arrogance makes noise, but experience wins in silence. If this story got you thinking, leave the like, comment on your opinion, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next video.